Before we get into the video, could everyone please subscribe to my Endless Diary Tales channel? Thank you so much. I was with Jack for 6 years, but he never married me. I got mugged in the alley and called him. She's just my assistant in this foreign land. Someone might be following her. It's dangerous. You suffocated me all these years. Fine, I'll marry you when I get back. He hung up on me and I bled out in that foreign alley. When I opened my eyes again, I was back 6 years ago. This time I no longer wanted to marry him. Victoria, I love you. You said if I win this race, you'll be with me. I saw 19-year-old Jack on his bike, confessing his love passionately. At 19, he was flashy, cocky with a face that could turn heads. Those eyes, full of charm and tender looks, could drown someone in them. The summer sun was so hot it almost brought tears to my eyes. I stared at him dazed. I was reborn 6 years ago. How long had it been since he looked at me with such passionate love? I couldn't remember. What I recalled were his cold eyes telling me to stop being childish. We had a bet on this race. I said if he could beat me on this track, I'd be with him. To win, he sped up on the deadly curve, risking his life. He won the championship. I rushed to him, hugging him as tears flowed. He kissed me in front of everyone. Then we started a 6-year-long entanglement. When he loved me, he lifted me to the skies. When someone disrespected me, he beat them up. I liked racing. Despite falling several times, he kept practicing just to talk to me. Once I coughed because of secondhand smoke. He quit smoking and made sure no one smoked around me. Everyone around him said they had never seen him love someone so much. They were sure I'd be his wife. I once believed we could have a lifetime together until he left me to die in the streets for another woman. Things started to change in the 5th year. He began staying out late. He smelled like smoke and said, "Victoria, men have to socialize. Smoking and drinking are unavoidable." That perfume scent he claimed was just for show. When I brought up marriage, his look seemed like I was forcing him. If I suggested a breakup, he'd show up with gifts. He'd tell me with tired eyes from a sleepless night how much he loved me and couldn't live without me. But he said marriage was too soon for him. He wanted to wait until his company was more successful. I gave in after 5 years, flooded with memories of his good side. But then he fell for another woman, Mandy. Mandy was his assistant. He saved her from a bar. Her father sold her to a 50-year-old man for $10,000 to pay off gambling debt. She said she'd work for 2 years at Jack's company to repay it. He went from despising her incompetence to working overtime, personally guiding her. Jack took her on a business trip to Italy without telling me. I found out at a racing sponsor event. I saw him socializing with her. When a man started harassing Mandy, Jack punched the guy and pinned him to the ground aggressively. He held her, comforting her, saying she was safe with him. Mandy clung to him, asking tearfully if he would protect her forever. Jack didn't respond. He saw me standing at the other end of the hallway. I bit my lip, tasting blood, my heart aching. He could get just as angry and protective for another woman. Maybe he felt something for her from the start. Jack never was a kind-hearted man. I turned and walked away, drove fast. He chased me, eventually cutting in front of me. Crashed into him. His car almost flipped. I stopped, my hands shaking. When I saw him step out unharmed, I collapsed on my car. He ran over and hugged me tightly. He explained, "Since she's my responsibility, I must ensure her safety." He pulled out a ring, slipping it onto my finger. "I plan to close this deal and then propose to you with a grand setup. Now it's ruined." Later, for Mandy's call, he left me alone on the street. Mandy sounded terrified on the phone. "Jack, someone's following me. I'm scared." "Is it the person we offended?" Before she finished speaking, he hung up. Jack said he had something to do, told me to get to the hotel myself, and left me in his car's exhaust. The next moment I got a text message. Mandy sent over a screenshot. It was that ring, telling a customer the ring got lost. "Sorry, we replaced it with a necklace," she told me. This ring was something a customer ordered 6 months ago. So when he said he was going back to propose, it was all a lie. Just a temporary excuse to comfort me. No wonder the wedding kept getting postponed. I asked her, "Didn't he say he was in danger?" She replied, "Jack's probably already come to save me." Right. Do you really want to tie him down just because you've been together for 6 years? I was just testing him. When he held me, I could hear his heart racing. It wasn't just that one time he's fallen for me. He said 6 years is long enough. He's tired of you already. There are many things I'll slowly share with you. I never got to reply to this message. Someone covered my mouth and pushed me into an alley. 2 foreigners demanded that I hand over everything valuable. After giving them my stuff, they looked at me with sleazy expressions. They started getting handsy. During the struggle, I fumbled for my phone that had fallen and pressed the speed dial. I didn't know who it called, but when it connected, I heard Jack's impatient voice. She's just my assistant in this foreign country. She thinks someone's following her. It's dangerous. You're making it hard for me to breathe. Fine, let's just get married when I get back, okay? He hung up on me. I didn't get another chance to call for help. One guy still had his hand over my mouth while the other started tearing off my clothes. I bit into his palm and kicked the other guy in the groin. They got really mad, called me a bitch. My throat was slit with a small knife. Blood poured out. I died in a foreign alley. Then I was reborn 6 years earlier. This time I don't want to marry him. Looking at his smiling eyes, there's no excitement left. I looked at him coldly. This time, even if I die, I won't let you win the race. Jack was stunned by my words. The crowd that was jeering suddenly fell silent. I put on my helmet, focusing straight ahead. I had one thought: win this race. I can't end up with him again. When the gunshot went off, I sped off like an arrow. Jack's car was tight on my left side. The narrow path only allowed one car to pass. In my past life, my feelings for him made me relent here. But this time I accelerated without hesitation. People nearby were yelling that I was out of my mind, speeding on such a dangerous curve. I truly was heartless toward Jack. My move put me way ahead, and Jack was forced to slow down and crashed off the racetrack. Soon I reached the finish line. Jack had climbed up from the ground, his car totaled. He was holding his injured shoulder, looking at me. Calmly, I flipped him off, grabbed the trophy, and walked off without looking back. He limped after me, his expression turning panicked. Do you really hate me that much? You'd risk accelerating on a dangerous curve just to cut ties with me? We were supposed to be together. I scoffed, yanking my hand away coldly. Who do you think you are? Just because you chase me means I have to say yes? You lost the race, stop bothering me. You're annoying. Jack looked mortified. He was a privileged young master, never having to stoop so low to pursue someone before. While I had never accepted his advances, I'd also never spoken so harshly to him, especially in front of so many people. His face twisted in anger. Victoria, you'll regret this. I chuckled lightly, saying, never. As I brushed past him and rode my bike away down the mountain path, reflecting on everything. Regret? My biggest regret was ever being with you. We didn't even last 7 years. Rich, you fell for another woman. I first met Jack at a banquet. I was ridiculous and out of bounds, just trying to embarrass my dad at his birthday party. I replaced the watch my stepmom was gifting him with a green hat. I laughed at him. Dad, this hat suits you perfectly. You cheated on mom back then. Now you're getting cheated on by another woman. Serves you right. My dad's face turned extremely sour. He didn't hesitate to smash his teacup on my head. With blood streaming down my face, I grinned at him and told him there was another surprise waiting for him. My stepmom, though an old-school actress, had gotten all her resources by sleeping around. I played all the videos at the birthday banquet. The number of men was outrageous. My dad's face turned greener than the hat I gave him. My stepmom's face contorted with rage, ready to slap me, but I fought back just as fiercely. She ruined my once happy family, lured my dad into divorce, and dared to send their intimate videos to my mom, mocking her for being old and unable to keep a man. First love? So what? My dad said. My mom was boring. He had been tired of her for years. Finally, she sent over the ultrasound showing she was pregnant. My dad suggested divorcing my mom, even offering her 35% of the company's shares. My mom's postpartum depression resurfaced, and she jumped from upstairs, ending her life. After my dad married that woman, she pretended to be nice to me at first. But soon her true colors showed. She abused me, pinching me until I was black and blue where no one could see. She would purposely not leave me any food. Karma hit when she went to a gala, got pushed by another female star over seating, fell and lost the baby. She could never get pregnant again. My dad started seeing other women, but no one ever got pregnant again, maybe because of his weakened body over the years. Now at 18, I've inherited my mom's company shares, holding 35%. I don't need to spare him any face. He yelled at me to get out. If it wasn't to smoothly inherit the shares, I wouldn't stay in this home. I turned around to leave and my stepmom, crazed, came at me with a knife trying to kill me in front of everyone. Clearly, she was out of her mind. Jack kicked her to the ground and pulled me into his arms. Security pinned her down in front of everyone. She's definitely going to prison. I looked up into his amber eyes filled with interest, as if he had found something amusing and rare. He said, "Thought this birthday party would be boring, but you're interesting. What's your name?" He was strikingly handsome, naturally exuding nobility, and he saved me. Even a rebellious teen like me had to respond. "Victoria. You're such a rogue," he said. "If I were a rogue, I would have you repay me with your life. Too bad I'm not into men. My dad's a prime example. Remember the name Jack. I'll be your future boyfriend." Later, he transferred to my school knowing I had an interest in car racing. He learned racing too and hurt himself in a crash. His friend Zach called me to visit, lying on the bed with his hand bandaged. He blamed Zach for telling me he had wanted to wait until he could show off his skills in front of me. That was when I started feeling something for him. Before, others would say racing was dangerous and tell me to stop. He was the first who wanted to be with me through it. He even fought a classmate who failed to woo me and then insulted me, saying I was pretending to be noble. Jack showed up the next day with bruised lips. Zach told me he had fought that guy, knocking out his teeth. That guy never spoke ill again. I never saw that classmate again. He transferred out. Jack confessed to me on stage during our flag ceremony and got punished to write an apology. He proudly showed me the apology as proof of his love. He turned down other girls' confessions, telling them he liked someone named Victoria. He would cross half the city on a snowy night just to bring me a sweet potato still warm from his chest. He often asked, "Fallen for me yet? Can I be your boyfriend?" Everyone knew Jack was openly chasing me. He loved me boldly, showering me with endless affection, making it hard not to fall for him. I made a bet that he could date me if he won a racing competition. I pretended to lose, but it gave him a chance to hurt me. I met Mandy 5 years earlier than in my previous life. She joined our class with exceptional grades. She wore simple clothes and introduced herself with pride. She looked at me with resentment and strong unwillingness. By all logic, we shouldn't know each other unless she was reborn too. When she sought out Jack, I couldn't help but take another look. Jack mistook it for jealousy. He treated her nicely on purpose, sometimes bringing her breakfast, which used to be just for me. He accepted water from her during games, smiled at her, and even let her sit beside him to ask questions. He tried to show me I wasn't special. Before, I would have been uncontrollably jealous. When Mandy joined the company, I brought him dinner, worried he would skip meals and aggravate his gastritis. I saw him intimately guiding Mandy on something. They were close together. Mandy looked confused, and he looked at her amused, saying she was silly and needed another explanation. I felt the sting of tears. He hadn't looked at me like that in a long time. He once said he would only guide me. I coldly asked, "What's this?" Then I glared at Mandy. "You're here to work, not seduce your boss." Mandy looked embarrassed, eyes full of tears. "You misunderstand, Jeremy. I just had some questions. Checked my computer. We're doing the PPT. Does it need the president himself to teach a simple PPT?" He looked at me coldly, then told me to stop making a scene as everyone else had left. They needed the report the next day. If she couldn't handle it, there was no reason to keep her. Mandy cried, asking me not to get her fired, fearing what her father might do. He said, "Victoria, must you be so aggressive?" He dragged me away. That night, we had our first fight over Mandy. I cited a woman's intuition and her bad intentions. He said I was paranoid but eventually gave in, promising to have his secretary guide her from then on, showing me the security footage for proof. But now looking back, I felt strangely calm. I calmly looked away, closed the book, and walked out. I heard a table being kicked over behind me, and Jack yelling furiously at Mandy to get lost. "Don't bother me. I won't talk to the teacher. I have no obligation to teach you. You weren't specially recruited, and you can't even do such a simple question. See how easily he sees through this now. It's just a close-up trick. How could he be so stupid after 6 years of experience?" Mandy followed me into the bathroom. She looked at me with a smile.
"Hello, Victoria."
I didn't want to engage and tried to leave, but she blocked my way. "Don't pretend you don't know me. Your first look at me wasn't like you were seeing a stranger. You've come back too, Victoria. You couldn't beat me in our past life, and it will be the same this time. You'll watch him leave you again." She started telling me how Jack chose her over and over again in our past life, abandoning me on Valentine's Day. She said her father abused her. He immediately drove to her house, gave her father a piece of his mind, handed over some money, and made him sign a contract promising never to bother her again. No wonder he rushed off after taking a call that day and returned with a bruised hand. He told me a project went wrong and he got mad. On our 6th anniversary, she called him, terrified of the thunderstorm, saying she felt like her father was about to hurt her. Again, he rushed over to stay with her. Jack hurriedly gave me a necklace, kissed me, and apologized, saying he couldn't celebrate our anniversary because his mom was sick. When I offered to go with him, he asked me to stay back. His mom always thought poorly of me. After what I did at my dad's birthday party, she thought I was untamable, not fit to marry into Jack's family that needed a docile daughter-in-law. Because I loved him, I endured her constant cold sarcasm. So I believed he was keeping me away to not worsen her condition while I sat alone with a meticulously prepared cold dinner, thinking of ways to win his mom's approval. He was comforting another woman. He had betrayed me so many times, giving his past affection to another woman while protesting his love for me. It was disgusting. She spoke with a grin, trying to see sadness or anger on my face. Even with the knowledge of all this betrayal, my heart ached instinctively. I slowly wiped my palm, struggling to maintain my composure. Not everyone treats garbage like treasure. If you like that trash, go ahead, but right now he doesn't seem that interested in you. Mandy suddenly fell to the ground, slapped herself, reddening her face, dirtying her uniform, and messing up her hair. She looked at me with a twisted smile. "Victoria, if you bully me out of jealousy, what would others say? Since you don't have a great reputation, no one will believe you. You're destined to lose to me." I watched her drama coldly. Living another life didn't clear her head. If anything, she's stupider. Using every trick for someone like that wasn't worth it. Rumors of me bullying Mandy spread across the school. I ignored Jack's advances but lashed out at every girl getting close to him. Teachers questioned me because Mandy was a top student, and the school didn't want such scandals catching media attention. But my family's influence kept the rumors behind my back. Teachers could only hint at their concerns, cautious not to offend the Victoria family. Then a media outlet exposed my supposed conduct. They blurred Mandy's face but showed her bruises, crying for help against a powerful enemy. Soon, others unhappy with me started spilling more lies. They posted a picture of me hitting someone, claiming this wasn't my first time bullying. They said I raced recklessly, endangering lives, even hitting someone, leaving them disabled and unable to race again. Even the story of my stepmom trying to stab me was spun as me being too rebellious, driving my parents to such extremes. It led to massive online attention, with my information widely shared. Comments poured in describing their own school bullying. Horrors, people like her give me lasting trauma, making me avoid social situations and feel deeply insecure. Do the rich get to do whatever they want? I became the target of public outrage, with everyone demanding my expulsion at school. I was met with guarded and hateful stares. After it all blew up, Jack approached me. He didn't care if I really bullied Mandy. He was thrilled, thinking I did it for him. He held my hand tight, asking if I cared for him. It's fake. I never touched her. He froze, looking at me like some savior. Victoria, this has gotten out of hand. No one will believe you now, but I can quash everything if you apologize to me. No way, I replied coldly. Jack seemed hurt by my attitude. His eyes turned a bit red, and he looked a bit aggrieved. I've been so good to you. Even a stone would warm up eventually, Victoria. You have no heart. Why can't you just give it a try? No need. Because I already tried. It was a disaster. Years went by, and the love he had for me faded while mine for him grew deeper. He used to look at me like I was his treasure, saying he couldn't wait to reach the legal age to marry me so I could be his forever. But when the time came, he stopped bringing it up. Even my distant father would ask, "When are you two getting married?" But Jack would only say, "Let's wait a bit longer." I, who used to be so bold and brash, became sensitive. I kept compromising, becoming someone I hated. I became so humble that it didn't seem like me anymore. Avoiding the unfixable cracks in our relationship. Watching his desperate attempts to fix things, I kept making excuses for him. He will change. After all, he used to love me so much, relying on memories of the sweet times. I softened and forgave him repeatedly, even though there were many clues about his infidelity. I chose to ignore them. In the end, I lost 6 years in my life. No need to repeat the same mistakes. He looked at me with deep affection. I won't give up just like that. Just when Mandy was smug, thinking she could get me expelled from school, I invited all the media to the school and was ready to be interviewed personally. I brought in the people involved to clarify things, except my stepmother because she was still in jail. It was shown that the picture of me hitting someone was actually me retaliating. The other person made the first move and asked me for money. The person involved came forward to clarify that back then because his grandmother was sick, I lent him money. He knew better than to extort me and had reformed after his time in the detention center. He now worked as a security guard at my company and was grateful as I helped save his grandmother. The racer who was rumored to be injured by me also clarified that his car had malfunctioned and almost went off a cliff. I had merely stopped the car. If it weren't for me, he might not just be injured but dead. As for my stepmother's video, I didn't show it again. After all, we were all students and it was inappropriate. But I did show the apology letter she wrote, admitting to her past abuse and saying she deserved to be in jail. She wrote the letter hoping I would write a pardon letter in return. Of course I didn't, seeing that these matters were clarified. The media quickly aimed their microphones at me. Even if other things were false accusations, the school bullying incident is real, right? The victim is from your school. If it were fake, you would have brought her out to clarify too. Right at this moment, Mandy stood not too far away, looking at me with resentment about to overflow. I raised my hand and pointed in her direction. She's right over there. Why not ask her yourself? Mandy wouldn't miss such an opportunity. With tears in her eyes, she said, "I don't know what I did wrong. I just asked Zach a question because I'm poor. Does that mean I deserve to be looked down on? Victoria, if you are bullying me out of jealousy, what will people say? You already have a bad reputation. No one will believe you. You are destined to lose to me." I played the recording on my phone, a conversation we had in the bathroom where she thought there were no cameras. I recorded it secretly when she followed me that day. I had the recording of our conversation ready. I didn't clarify at first because I wanted to see how far she would go. The bigger the fuss she made, the worse it would be for her in the end. She stood there, tearfully stunned. As she was still in shock, a man rushed in from the crowd, wearing a worn-out checkered shirt with calloused hands. He slapped her hard across the face. "Where have you been all these years, leaving me to fend for myself?" The moment she saw him, her eyes filled with terror. She trembled and called out, "Dad!" This was the father who had always abused her. "I'll beat you to death. Your mom ran off with another man when you were 3. You look just like her, so you dare to run away too? Do you think getting into a good college means you can ditch me?" The man cried bitterly, talking about how hard it was for a man to raise a daughter, and how she had cut ties with him. The media, seeing this, didn't pull Jeff away but instead crowded around, snapping photos furiously. Mandy, who was performing under the spotlight moments ago, now desperately tried to block the cameras, screaming for them to stop. The man grabbed Mandy, trying to take her home, saying her grandmother was sick and wanted to see her. Mandy broke free and grabbed my hand. In front of everyone, she knelt down and pleaded, "Help me. I won't compete with you anymore. I can't go back." I looked down at her and asked calmly, "The day you recorded that video accusing me of bullying you, did you not think of this moment? I'm no saint. Why should I repay your evil with good?" She broke down, got up from the ground and tried to hit me. Jack kicked her back to the ground. She couldn't hold back her cries of anguish. Why is this happening? I just wanted to be with you sooner. You told me you were tired of her. You said if you had met me earlier, you would have chosen me. Jack's eyes were cold as he looked at her and simply said, "Crazy." I looked at her with sadness. I didn't hate her because even if it wasn't her, there would be other women in the future. She just happened to come along at that time. She thought she was special in Jack's heart, not knowing she was just something he hadn't gotten yet. At this moment, I am his first love. She was just a pursuer who got close on purpose. How could she compare to a woman whom he couldn't have? She had the chance to start over, but she chose to seek out this scumbag. Even earlier, her father dragged her out of the campus while people continued taking photos. Jack looked at me and told me he had Mandy's father come so she could never appear in front of me again or bother me. I looked at him mockingly and said, "You're so despicable. You were behind the first media outlet that broke the news. Right, after all, who else but him would dare go up against Victoria?" He bit his lip and looked at me in silence. After a long while he said, "I just want you to rely on me, to compromise, to be with me. What's so bad about that? I would protect you, cherish you, love you. You're disgusting. Get out of my life," putting me through the storm and then trying to be my guardian angel. Maybe he never loved me. He just wanted to see the roses with thorns in the wilderness yield to him, willingly removing all the thorns for that feeling of conquest. His face twitched, looking utterly embarrassed, his knuckles pale from the tight grip, his face almost white. He cried, his voice trembling. "What do I have to do to make you love me?" No longer the high and mighty Jack, now he was so humble. It didn't seem like him. He never had begged anyone so sadly. His love was true at that moment, but his fleeting affection was truly nauseating. I replied jokingly, "Then go die, and maybe I'll regret it and give you a grand burial, crying over your ashes and professing how much I love you." After saying that, I pushed him aside and walked away. I applied to be an exchange student, really not wanting to get entangled with Jack anymore. The day I got accepted, I was kidnapped. I woke up in a deserted villa area only to find a now skeletal-looking Jack. He no longer looked like the carefree playboy he used to be. Now he looked a bit repulsive. I looked at him coldly, with a hatred I had never felt before. In my eyes, he raised his hand to touch my eyes, his voice full of bitterness and choking up. "Victoria, don't look at me like that. It hurts my heart." I lost control and screamed at him hysterically. "Why can't you leave me alone? Haven't I made myself clear? I don't want to see you again." He was like a vengeful ghost haunting me, constantly appearing by my side, reminding me of all those lonesome past events. Only I remembered I hated him. I hated that after giving me his unique favor, he threw me aside. But after everything, my hatred for him dissipated, leaving only disgust. I didn't want to be entangled anymore. I wanted a new life. "Are you leaving?" he asked. "Yes," I replied. "Is it because of me?" "Yes." His eyes filled with pain and unwillingness. "Victoria, I've been dreaming on and off of us being together for the past 6 years. We almost made it to marriage, but then I wake up realizing it was just a dream. How can a dream feel so real?" He looked at me with hope, but soon his eyes were flooded with panic. If he really saw the past, it would not only be sweet memories he'd see. He'd see himself changing his mind, repeatedly lying to me for another woman. He'd see my lifeless body on the street while he rushed to console that frightened woman. He muttered, "Everything was real, but I didn't even like Mandy. I just wanted to piss you off. How could I have changed my heart for her?" Those past events resurfaced and still, he kidnapped me. I gritted my teeth and said, "Because you're vile. You can curse me all you want, just don't leave me." Jack pulled me tightly into his arms. I opened my mouth and bit down on his shoulder. How dare he, after knowing all his shameful acts, still have the audacity to hold on to me? He held on even as I bit through his flesh, his hot tears drenching my neck. "I only loved you. It was a momentary lapse with her. I never wanted to leave you. I really wanted to propose to you. I don't know what got into me. Whenever she called, I couldn't control myself and would leave you to see her. I truly felt guilty." I spat out a mouthful of blood, my words as sharp as knives. "What's the point of telling me this, Jack? You're worse than my dad. At least he was openly scum. You, on the other hand, are cowardly, sneaky like a rat in the sewer. You do dirty deeds and then lie about loving me. Your deep affection is more worthless than grass. He said he would never let me become like my mom. He knew I hated betrayal the most. If he had broken up with me the moment he changed his heart, at least I wouldn't have wasted so much time. His eyes were red and full of tears, tightly clutching my shoulders. I just made a mistake that any man could make. But this time I didn't. In my past life you died. After I heard the news, I was devastated. I drank all day, and the company collapsed. I got stomach cancer, and within a year I joined you. As for Mandy, she was never the person I loved. We have a chance to start over. This time I won't betray you. I love you. I really love you. Can you stop tormenting me? Please don't leave me. He paused, took a diamond ring out of his pocket, and knelt in front of me. Victoria, I mined this diamond myself. I designed the pattern, a rose. From the moment I first saw you, you were like a blooming thorny rose that deeply attracted me. You are the unique blue diamond. In our past life I wanted to marry, but the ring he proposed with was just one he planned to buy for a client, casually fooling me. Jack, there are no second chances. I heard the sirens outside the house, watching the officers rush in and pin him to the ground. That priceless ring fell to the floor. I didn't take another look. Ever since I was killed in my past life, I installed an alert and location system on my phone to guard against such situations when he was hysterical. I entangled myself just now. I pressed the quick alert button. Sure enough, when in trouble, it's best to call the police. He tried to resist and was immediately kicked and handcuffed. I was untied. Jack, you will never have another chance to entangle me. I looked at him and silently said goodbye forever. The next time I heard about Jack was 2 months later when I was a French exchange student. I got a call from an old classmate. They said Jack had multiple organ failure and wouldn't live much longer. The reason was that Mandy had stabbed him multiple times with a knife. When Mandy's father took her away, it wasn't to visit her grandmother. Her father had taken a dowry of 66,000 yuan from a villager and sold her to a man in his 50s. The man would beat her regularly, making her look horrible. He also had some twisted hobbies. Everywhere she went, people mocked her. Even if she got into a prestigious university, it was of no use. She still ended up marrying an old man. She finally escaped and waited outside the police station, hoping Jack would help her. Jack's family had to work hard to get him released on bail. On the first day he got out, he saw Mandy and was immediately annoyed. He said this was the police station. If she had problems, she should talk to the police. Mandy said that domestic affairs couldn't be handled by the police, and that her family sided with the man. They said she was being unreasonable, and when she went home, she'd face even harsher beatings. Jack refused to help her and even told her that he had called her father to take her back, telling her to get lost. Mandy lost control and with a knife, started stabbing Jack while babbling. She said that in a past life she loved him dearly. He had feelings for her, but after that woman died, he sent her back to her father. Her father resented her for doing well and ignored her, even daring to have her disciplined. When she got back, she was beaten even more fiercely. On a winter night, she was beaten near to death and then thrown outside. She froze to death. She thought meeting him early would make him love her more and escape her past life, but he ruined her life again, making her live even more miserably. He deserved to die in the end. Mandy was declared insane and wasn't sentenced, but was placed in a mental hospital for treatment. I said that's a pity calmly and hung up the phone. I put on my helmet and rode my bike through the mountain roads, embracing the summer breeze. Victoria, reborn from the ashes, your long and beautiful life is just beginning, with infinite possibilities ahead.